right, I'm gonna share my screen with everybody. And before I do that, first of all, just a quick hello. Thank you for being on this call today. We are really going to talk about specifically food and beverage related services for UF and how to get involved with that. But certainly, if there's other questions outside of that, if I can't answer those questions, I'm sure Desiree might be able to add a little bit of insight. But we'll share my screen and get started here. So, give me 1 second. Am I shared yet, Desiree, or not?
So go to slideshow,
Oh, thank you.
start from beginning,
All right. Hey, how's that?
and display settings at the
Yeah,
top left.
thank
You'll
you.
want to click on swap presenter view. Perfect.
Okay, awesome. Great, thank you. So, University of Florida doing business with UF as food service. We're going to do a little bit of a welcome to UF. I'm going to talk a little bit about what food services happen at the university. Maybe talk about some reasons why you might want to partner with UF, possible partner areas, how to get started, and then we're going to open that up for questions. And as we go through this, if there is at any time where you might want to ask a question, let me know. Desiree, I won't be able to see hands up. So if you have someone who wants to throw a hand up, just let me know and we can answer those questions.
Absolutely.
Okay, so my name is Matt Mueller. I am the Director of Food and Beverage Services for the university. I work in the Office of Business Services, so I am definitely on the university side. And what I do, I've been on campus since June of 2020, so a little bit over 5 years. My background, I have over 40 years of food and beverage experience. Owned my own restaurants in the Chicago area for about 23 years, then transitioned into food service in higher education. Spent some time at different campuses in Chicago, upstate New York, Florida, and then came over to this university position about 5 years ago. In my role, I oversee a partnership agreement that we have with a company called Chartwell's Higher Ed, which is part of the Compass Group. And they operate and oversee all of our food and beverage locations across main campus. And they have a section over at the Health Science Center near the Shands Hospital area that they operate some locations. I also oversee an agreement that we have with Pepsi to be the exclusive beverage provider across UF and Shands properties around the state. I oversee an agreement with Canteen, who is a snack vending partner on campus and those other properties. And then I also oversee our roster of approved caterers, and that'll be one of the big topics we talk about today. So again, I am in the Office of Business Services, and our mission really is to support the mission and the goals of the University of Florida. We report up through business affairs. We provide a lot of essential services that promote student success, things such as the card office. We oversee the bookstore. We oversee a document and mail service that's on campus, and some other things. So, but my primary focus is on those food and beverage partnerships. So again, some of our business partners, Chartwell's Higher Ed, we talked about, they're known on campus as Florida Fresh Dining. Follett is our bookstore partner on campus. Pepsi has our pouring rights on campus. Canteen is snack vending. And this is an updated, but Wells Fargo is no longer our banking partner on campus. We have a partnership with Morgan Stanley. So if we talk about Florida Fresh Dining and our dining program on campus, we have about 40 locations across all of campus. 3 resident dining locations, which are all you care to eat. They have an arm called Palm and Pine Catering, which offers full service catering solutions. We have 27 restaurants and cafes, 7 market convenience stores, 8 coffee shops across campus. 4 of those are Starbucks, and some of those are other brands. 4 smart market location, which are automated vending machines. And then we've brought different food trucks to campus to be part of a retail sales rotation. And we also use some cart and other local partnerships as part of our program. The other services we have, again, Pepsi, who has pouring rights across campus, not only provides all the beverage services to our dining program, but they also oversee the beverage program for the stadiums and concessions. They also oversee our vending program for bottled service vending services across campus. And then, as we talked about, Canteen is our snack vending partner. So that's kind of the overview. I think the interesting piece is there is a tremendous opportunity to partner with the university. When you think about on a daily basis, 65,000 people, which is about 52,000 students and sometimes up to 20,000 faculty and staff, to have you be visible on campus either as a part of our dining program or as a caterer or supplier or vendor, certainly that's a great opportunity for any business. The neat thing is you can kind of start at your own pace and comfort level and grow from there. You don't have to do everything all at once to be a part of our program. There are minimal costs in many opportunities to come to campus. And then there is a lot of support, not only from Desiree and her team, but also from our Office of Business Services. So if we talk specifically about food and beverage opportunities, there are pretty much four specific ways to come to campus. One, and the easiest way, is probably to come to campus as an approved caterer or as a mobile food vendor, which is really food trucks or carts. So that's the easiest way to come to campus. How can a department or a student group or one of our colleges on campus use your company to do some catering? And we'll talk about how to become an approved caterer in a moment. Florida Fresh Dining uses restaurants and local companies in a bunch of different ways. Sometimes it's as simple as buying food products, and that company becomes a supplier to the dining program. And we're always looking to expand the amount of local and state of Florida purchasing that we're doing. Sometimes it's as a vendor or sub-vendor where you could come to campus and be your restaurant, your caterer. You might have a spot on our campus. We've done that over the last 4 years in our partnership with Chartwell's with companies as varied as Fat Cheese Barbecue, Miapa, who has a space in our student union building. We just brought in a restaurant from Tallahassee called Tally Mac Shack, and on our campus they're called Mac Shack. Opus Coffee has an outlet on campus. Paper Bag has come to campus. BZ Gelati. So those are companies that have a physical presence on campus, their own location that they operate out of as a sub-vendor. And we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. But we also have used food trucks to come to campus and be part of our dining program. So again, Florida Fresh Dining retail location having an actual space on campus to operate out of. And then the resident all-you-can-eat dining locations. 3 or 4 times a semester, they'll do pop-up or specialty events. And many times we'll bring in a local partner to be part of that. Sometimes that is a company looking to get exposure and they may donate their product or services to be part of an event. Sometimes Florida Fresh Dining may buy 800 portions of food to serve at one of their events. So there's a couple different ways to do that. So we're going to go through each of these areas and talk about them. And then our office can be a great resource as we go through these processes, and we can also make connections for you on campus. So the first step, the easiest way that we think is to become an approved caterer or mobile food vendor. There is a link. If you Google UF catering, there'll be a quick, simple box that says how to become a caterer. And on that, you'll find all of the updated requirements to become a caterer, all of the minimum levels of insurance and those types of things that we might need to become an approved caterer, and all of the steps to do that. I will tell you, if we go down to the 5th bullet point, register as a UF vendor. So that is the absolute first step to becoming an approved caterer. The first thing is to have a UF vendor supplier number. Some of you may already have that. You've talked about how you've been approved to do business with UF. So that vendor supplier number is through the Office of Procurement. And basically, they do some minimal checks on insurance and business license and things. And then they set you up as a vendor, and that's how you get paid by the university. Once you have that vendor number, you come to our office and apply to become an approved caterer. Things that we look for minimum requirements: we need a valid copy of your annual business license. We need general liability, auto liability, workers' compensation insurance. We have some specific requirements around levels of insurance and how that insurance can be worded. And we're happy to work with your insurance agents and our Office of Risk Management to match up paperwork if we need to. If you're looking to provide alcohol service as part of your catering agreements, we have some specific licenses that we will approve to do that, and separate insurance for alcohol liability. There's a catering services agreement form that you sign to agree to our terms. And then if we go through all of that, then you go on our website as an approved caterer. And as long as paperwork is updated on an annual basis, whether it's licensing or insurance, you stay on that list. And then if you were to Google UF Catering and click on the box that says find an approved caterer, you can see all of the caterers that we have, all of the contact information. So somebody would go to that at UF who's looking to order catering, goes to that list, finds your name on there, reaches out to you, and starts doing some business. An updated slide, and this is something that just happened in the last few months, this 3% administrative service fee. So when UF was paying invoices to caterers before, we would hold back a 3% administrative service fee to cover some costs of overseeing this catering approval program. That fee no longer exists, so there are no deductions that will come from your invoice as you get paid. So that is really kind of in a nutshell. And as you go through that, and as you look to become an approved caterer, our Office of Business Services is happy to support that entire process, answer questions, walk you through paperwork. Basically, when you get your vendor number, we give you access to upload all of your documents to a portal that we have, and then we review them, and then hopefully we can approve you. Time to become an approved caterer, the longest part of the process is to get your UF vendor number through the Office of Procurement. That is not an office that we oversee, so sometimes that could take as little as a week. Sometimes it could take 3 weeks, depending on how busy they are. Once you have that number, if you come to our office and you have all of the paperwork as required, we can usually approve you within a matter of days. Sometimes there's a little back and forth on the paperwork to get it to the right format or the right requirements. Sometimes that process could take 2 to 3 weeks, but we are happy to help support that process. As an approved caterer, there are a few little things that you would do. We ask you follow some UF guidelines that we ask all of our partners on campus to follow. One is around sustainability and eliminating the use of styrofoam, and the other is Pepsi exclusivity. So as Pepsi is our exclusive provider on campus, if you were to bring bottled or canned beverages to campus, they would have to be Pepsi products. We would not allow Coke products to come to campus. But again, we can work with you through that. So that's the catering piece. And at some point, as you go through that process, everybody always has questions. And like I said, we would love to be able to help you with that process and answer questions you may have. So now the next one is, how do we partner with Florida Fresh Dining, Gator Dining? So understand, if you have to become part of the dining program, those agreements are with Chartwell's Higher Ed, and you might need to meet specific Chartwell's requirements to be their vendor, which may be a little bit different than the UF requirements. And these are, again, some of the ways that you can do that. Supplier vendor, sell your products or services to Chartwell's for use in the dining program. We had a program called Taste of Gainesville where we would bring restaurants to campus on a small initial rotational basis. We're adapting that program. We had a specific spot in the student union that we had for that. We're adapting that to different locations to be more of pop-up at events. But that could be an easy way to kind of test the waters and see how your concept may work on campus. You could be a retail dining partner, have your own location on campus, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And then we talked about being part of our offer in our resident dining program or for pop-up events, whether you come to campus as to offer samples to support an event, or whether they buy X amount of food from you to offer and showcase your concept to our students as part of a pop-up event for our dining program. And the other piece could be, as we expand our food truck presence across campus, how do you do that? I do want to make sure that this is the main point. You would not be allowed to just come to campus on your own to set up shop and start selling on campus. That would be shut down pretty quickly. Chartwells has the exclusive rights to cash restaurant, food and beverage sales across our campus properties. So that is something that we do pretty highly. However, Chartwells has offered the opportunity to have local businesses become a part of their program. What we would do is we would get you in contact with Chartwells and Florida Fresh Dining. And don't use Andrew's name here. We're going to change that to reach out to me, and I am happy to make that connection, and I can help you tee up a conversation with that Chartwells team. And then, as we go through all of this, you may have questions. I am always available to answer questions. Again, we have a wide range of restaurant and food and beverage companies that want to come to campus. I've got experience not only with my own restaurants, but chain restaurants, et cetera. So very easy to reach out for an initial conversation with our office to talk about how to come to the university and how to start that conversation if you're interested. Again, always happy to support. With my background of having my own businesses, I do have a little bit of a soft spot in my heart for independent operators, especially any business who made it through COVID in the last 4 or 5 years. So again, happy to have at this point answer any questions and open up a conversation. And thank you for letting me have the opportunity to present today.
Of course, Matt. Thank you so much. So, did anyone have any questions for Matt? Feel free to unmute at any time.